Hi, I'm Danny Brad, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I wanted to do something on a Hydra team, a slightly different concept to what a lot of people are using and a lot of videos out there. I don't have a Yukemo or a Kymar to reset my champions, so I've come up with a different solution to be able to get some good damage out of Trunda. So this is the team that I'm using. I've got Trunda, I've got Michelle, I've got Arbiter, Lydia, Gurptuk, and Lady Kimi. And I've pre-recorded this so we can skip through to some important parts, and then I'll show you all the builds and why this team works. If you've got any suggestions on how I can make it better, let me know. But I think it works pretty well. And if anybody's got these champions that can do a better build, because my builds aren't the greatest, they're pretty good, but they're not the best, please let me know, because I'd like to see what damage this team can actually do. But here we go. So to start with, we've got Trunda in Merciless set, and we've got her in one piece of refresh. If I had 3 pieces of refresh should be better, but we've only got 1 piece, or potentially a 9-piece Merciless. But again, I've only got 1 piece, and it's an amulet, and it's got defense as the primary stack. I re-rolled it because I wanted to get crit damage, but I just didn't get it. So she's in 1 bit of refresh, which does come into play and helps this team out quite a lot. The important thing about this is just getting that refresh on her cooldowns constantly, in order for once all the heads are down, like you'll see in a second, she can maximize the damage that she does with all the heads down and with decreased defense and weaken on it. So here we go. Michelle's going to take out that last final head. Lydia's going to come in with decreased defense and weaken. I think a couple more people go before Trunda gets her second smack in. So we're at 11 million. Trunda's going to come in, and we'll just give it a quick pause on the damage. So she's hitting this head for 1.9. She's then getting 19 to 38 million. So anyway, 20 to 40 million damage on all the other heads. Michelle is putting hex out there. He only got 1 hex on this head, but that hex, I mean, it's doing an extra 2, 4, probably 6 million damage based on the damage from these other heads. And that's really how this team is working. It's just going back through, cycling through, hoping Trunda that gets her decreased cooldowns enough times in order to constantly be doing her A2, and potentially getting a few refreshes so she can just automatically do that E2 again. And that's pretty much how the team works all the way through until the end. So by the time we get to the turn limits, turn 52, 53, we're at about 1.7 billion. And then obviously we're just getting towards the turn limit, and the final score is 2.24 billion, which I don't think is a bad score. It's an interesting team. I'll show you all the builds and how we've got it set up in a second, but I don't think it's a bad damage. It's only a normal, but again, we don't have any reset champions in here at all. So let me log on to my raid account. So this is my raid account. So let's go Hydra. We will, obviously I've used the key. This is the team that I used. This is the setup. So we'll go through the builds in more detail individually, but we've got Trunda turned off at A3 because we just want her to keep on decreasing the cooldown of her A2 and prioritizing the A2. Michelle, we're turning off his A3. We want the leech out there as much as possible. We want the increased crit damage as much as possible and increased speed as well. So we're prioritizing the A2, turning off the A1. Arbiter, she's in there for the increased attack. And then obviously we just want to keep on filling this turn meter as much as we can for Trunda, because she's quite slow, just in order to get her back to that A2 as much as possible, and a revive just in case something goes wrong. We've got Lydia prioritizing her A2, which is decreased defense weaken, with the strengthen as well and some increased speed. We've got Gurptuk, who's prioritizing his A3, so the block buffs, and putting poisons out because of his passive, which obviously is doing more damage for each poison debuff that is on Trunda and everybody else. And then we've got Lady Kimi finally, who we're opening with her A1 because we want the heads to go down first before we place the decreased speed so that they stay down. And then we've got the increased speed, although it is important. We've got that from Lydia and from Michelle, so we're prioritizing that second. We want this decreased speed as the priority for our Lady Kimi. So with no further ado, let me show you my actual builds. And like I say, hopefully, if somebody has got these people, this team that you could build, I'd be interested to see what you could actually do damage wise with them, because my builds aren't the strongest. It's not really speed tuned as well as it could be, mainly because Trunda. I mean, can you really speed tune Hydra? Because you've got different heads coming up, you don't know what's coming up. It can be a bit of a nightmare. But we've got Trunda in a 6-piece Merciless and 1-piece Refresh. Like I say, hopefully we'll get more Refresh accessories for her, or alternatively, we'll get her into a 9-piece Merciless just because we get this extra crit damage as well. Her total stats are as follows. So we've got a 8k attack for Hydra, 192 speed, and 299 crit damage. We don't really care about any other stats, but make her a little bit tanky. You need her to take a couple of hits. That's her build. Masteries wise, we've not maxed out masteries yet, but that's the masteries. Again, we've gone for cooldowns everywhere we can, and Helm Smasher, just if that procs it can do the more damage. That's Trunda. We've got Arbiter. Arbiter is currently in an 8-piece protection. I'm hoping one day to get her in 9-piece, but it just slows her down too much for other areas of the game, and I don't like rebuilding champions. So she's only in 8-piece protection. Her masteries are as follows, and her stats are quite survivable. A lot of HP, defense, a bit of attack as well. 380 speed. So she's not the fastest Arbiter. I think the maximum I can get her to is about 398, but she's slightly slower because she's in protection. It does okay for arena and other areas of the game, so that's why I leave it. Hopefully one day I'll get 400 plus. So that's my Arbiter. Michelle, we've got him in the curse set and a bit of perception. Sorry. His stats for Hydra are 5.5k attack, 270 crit damage, lots of accuracy, and a bit of resistance as well. Masteries wise, we have these as his masteries. We've got Arbiter, I forgot to show you. So her stats for Hydra obviously are slightly better. So 388 speed, survivable. Again, she's just there to boost everyone's turn meter. Lydia, again, 9-piece protection, because the protection buff, the protection 9-piece gives you this really good 5% more damage for each buff placed. She gets 2 buffs on Trunda. That's potentially another 10% damage for Trunda, which is why most people are in protection, because we want this extra damage. Her masteries are as follows. So pretty standard masteries. And her total stats for Hydra, we have her at 280 speed, 370 resistance, 335 accuracy. So enough accuracy. I think you only need 230, I think, for normal, just to guarantee, or as much as you can. You've always got like 3% resistance, but to get that extra, or to land the debuffs. Gurptuk is as follows. So Hydra, we've got 279 speed, 400 accuracy, way more than what we need. and it's survivable. He's not in protection. I could put him in protection because he does bring continuous heals. He does bring shields. He only hits on his A1. The other two doesn't hit. He just places buffs, and so no real point in damage. His masteries, I don't even have them completed. He will have War Master just to give me that extra damage, so I can get a bit more damage out using him. But that's his building. He's in perception. And then we've got Lady Kimi. So Lady Kimi's masteries, again, she's got War Master. And then her artifacts, again, protection, 9 piece for that extra 5% damage. And her total stats for Hydra are 327 speed, 297 accuracy, and survivable. And that is my team. I hope you like it. If you like the content, please give me a like and subscribe. I will hopefully be putting out a few more videos with different teams that I use currently. And if it all goes well, I'll hopefully be building some new teams just to show what you can do in Raid. But this is my team for now. And yeah, drop me a like and subscribe.